Hi, I'm Lamborghini C, and welcome back to my channel. Today, I want to talk to you about grief. I know that, for many of us over the last couple of years, especially, we've suffered tremendous loss. And I myself am a testament to that. For those that know me personally, you know that last January, I lost my father. I had a very, very close relationship with my father. He actually raised me as a single parent, so he was my best friend. So for the last couple years, it has been difficult. It has its ups and downs, kind of living through that grief. And I know, especially now during the holiday season, it can even be that much more difficult. I want to just come on and just as encouragement, just kind of, talk through allowing yourself to feel vulnerable and have those feelings that you're having of sadness, and also to encourage you, especially during, holiday seasons or, you know, monumental moments, in your life that you normally would, pick up the phone and share with your lost loved one, to take some time and reflect on the good memories, on the good times that you were able to share with them. That has been the key to help me get through the last couple of years. I do want to say that I'm so grateful and thankful for my foundation and the people that have been in my life that I've been able to call on and really, talk to, and, those friends and family members that have been able to be encouragement to me. I greatly value them, especially one of my cousins who, when I experienced the loss, I remember her being very intentional with her comfort for me and her conversation with me, and making sure that I knew and understood that it was not only all right for me to allow myself to be vulnerable and really to simply just cry when I needed to, just cry when the feelings come, and to allow myself to feel those feelings. And for some of you, it may seem odd that, why would you need to have somebody tell you that? Well, the reality is that sometimes we need to be reminded that it's okay to be vulnerable, especially when you are a highly driven person, when you spent most of your adult life, you know, um, focused on achieving goals and doing things that, for the most part, they call on you to be strong. They call on you to not show when you have fear. They call on you to not show when you may feel weak. They call on you to not show when you may be scared, right? You kind of begin to teach yourself to stuff away those feelings and those emotions, at least for the moment, right? The unfortunate thing is that it can carry over into your personal life. So while it may be something that is a great benefit to be able to disconnect and compartmentalize for business and for, success, it can take a toll on you personally. And so some of us, like myself, have had to do some introspective work to really learn to let myself feel those emotions and to really allow myself to be vulnerable and cry when I need to, when those feelings come. It has been difficult, I'll tell you, over the last year, and even during the holiday season. I've shed some tears just thinking about, the fact that I don't have my dad here to spend the holidays with me. I used to go get him and bring him, here to my house, and we usually would spend Thanksgiving and Christmas together. But of course, this year that won't be happening. But the other day I reminded myself, you know what, I'm grateful and I'm thankful for those years that I was able to have the time to spend with him. That, I knew that he really got a chance to enjoy, those holidays, spending time with me, for that week leading into the holidays. And so that brings me comfort. One of the things that I wish I'd done, and it's a real driver in how I move and operate today, is I wish I would have documented more. I wish I would have taken more pictures. I wish I would have taken more videos, because, in those times where you are feeling, like you're missing your loved one, you can refer back to those and look at them, and, you'll think about the circumstances or things that were going on. It's interesting. I saw a post the other day, and I reshared it on my IG page, and it simply said, go ahead and take the picture, even when you don't feel like taking it, because years down the road, people that are missing you, they're not going to care. They're just going to want the memory. They're not going to care how your hair looked. They're not going to care if you didn't feel like you had the perfect outfit on. So don't miss out on those opportunities to really capture those moments and those memories. A few months ago, I had an awakening, and it was a trigger moment for me. I happened to come across the interview that Angie Martinez did with Lauren London. And I'd seen it, posted. It would come into my feed, on YouTube. And I guess subconsciously I avoided or waited watching it. Because I knew that she would be talking about how she was dealing with, her loss of her significant loved one, who was Nipsey Hussle. And so I finally got around to watching it one Saturday, and it triggered me. And it triggered me because she was able to explain some feelings that I'd had that I didn't have the language to describe them or to identify them in. And I'm a Pisces, so I'm an overthinker. I'm emotional anyway. And so I think it was triggering for me because I remembered going through the months after losing my father and having times where I just, some of my friends may remember, I talk to them and I just tell them, hey, I don't know what's happening with me. Like, it's just so hard for me to do like simple little tasks. It's so hard now for me to do like the simplest little things. What's wrong with me? What's happening with me? And it really was messing with me, right? Having spent so many years as a high functioning, person, right? Was really driven and used to handling multiple tasks and, managing through life crises while still excelling, in the business world and, financially being able to really do a good job of compartmentalizing all those things in my life, but still staying focused on my goals and driving those forward, through the storms, in spite of the storms, right? It really bothered me because I'd never experienced that ever in my life, right? And so she talked about grief fog, and I had never heard that terminology before. I know now that, we've gone through the last couple of years of the pandemic, people have begun to talk about like things that a fog that they've experienced after having the virus, we all know the C word virus, right? But I'd never heard grief fog talked about before, or even the terminology, but simply that period that you go through after a significant loss. And it can be, not only the loss of an individual, but also like the loss of something significant in your life, or a relationship, or what have you, or a job, or the loss of maybe a particular career that you've gone through. Like, I now recognize it, and talking to, friends and folks over the years, like as they, especially with athletes, as they begin to transition from that period of time where they realize, hey, my sports career is coming to an end and it's time for me to pivot and transition into something else. That is a huge loss, right? When you spent your whole life working towards something and you get to achieve it at its highest level, and then having to walk away from it and, redefine yourself and who you are. And I realized that's a lot of what I was going through with the loss of my father, right? And it really, like I said, it was triggering to me, but in a good way. And I actually had to stop the interview for a little bit, and I just cried. I just cried my eyes out. It was such a relief because I remember, again, the frustration that I had not being able to express or even explain to myself what it was that I was feeling. And really just thinking like something's going on with me, like something's, I'm not functioning at, my full capacity, right? And so, the reason that I'm sharing this, as you can tell, is very vulnerable for me, but I feel like somebody needs to hear it. I feel like somebody needs the encouragement to just know and understand that it's okay to let yourself feel. Don't feel ashamed. Don't feel down on yourself because you may be emotional, especially during the holiday season. Especially during those, maybe memorable moments, whether they're birthdays that come around and what have you. But allow yourself to sit in those feelings, right? But then refocus yourself to think about the good times and the greatness, that occurred from the relationship or from having that individual in your life. Like, I am so forever grateful. I'll tell you, I oftentimes am remembered almost on a daily basis, things that my dad instilled in me, the what's in me. I'm more introspective now, and I can see and understand my upbringing and how it shaped my life and how the effect that it will have on my future, right? Because of the things that he taught me and he instilled in me, and the things that I hold true to myself and dear to my heart. And so again, I just encourage you during this season to give yourself the biggest hug. Make sure that you surround yourself and talk to those that that are able to warm you and and give you an encouraging word or a heartfelt message. But know that it's okay to be you. Above all else, love on yourself, most importantly. But thank you. I just wanted to share, a little bit about grief and just kind of living through it. We're all a work in progress. So again, work through the moments, grow through the moments. You're going to get through them. Again, I'm Lamborghini C, and thank you for stopping by my channel. Like, subscribe, and share.